Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Here's my contact information. The best way to get in touch with me is through Discord. My name on Discord is Doug P. Also in Bookmap Discord, there's an Options-Doug chat channel. That's a great place to post questions, comments, and content related to the topics of my presentation and the topics of the channel that I'll go through in just a moment. I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter. My name there is @DougPless. The focus of my presentation today and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel is options order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as the directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis and for setups for entries and exits. And when I talk about setups, I will be focusing on an underlying asset, and setups in that asset can be taken any number of ways. For example, S&P 500 setups can be taken with ES futures, SPY shares, SPY options, SPX options, or even ES options. So I'm just focusing on the setup. However you choose to to take that trade, that's up to you. Also, the setups that I will be talking about today are appropriate for short-term trades, day trades, swing trades, or even longer-term trades, depending on your time frame. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord as well as the chat in the YouTube channel, Bookmap YouTube channel, for your questions and comments. Please feel free to post, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. And hello, Floyd's Garage. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right, here's my agenda for today, Wednesday, December 20th. First of all, I want to go over news items, economic data, and events for today as well as the rest of the week. Then I'll go through my positional analysis. Then I'll review some setups from earlier today. And then I'll talk about the live market. And when I get to the live market, if anyone has any stocks they want me to take a look at, please let me know and I'll be glad to do that. All right, news items for today. Consumer confidence did come out at 10 a.m. and that was greater than expected and greater than the previous reading for consumer confidence. Then tomorrow, GDP and jobless claims are out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then on Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, PCE data and durable goods orders are out. And typically PCE data could be a market mover. All right, so that will wrap up the week. Overall, a very light week regarding events and economic data. All right, let's move on to positional analysis. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. This is the ES futures and Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I do want to take a look at a larger time frame. So I'm going to start with SPX. This is the underlying asset index for the S&P 500. This is a one-day chart, and the current rally began on October 30th for a variety of reasons. IV collapse, put Venom rally, FOMC announcements, and also CPI reports coming in better than expected. And so far the SPX is up just a little bit less than 700 points. And just for your reference, this rally that began in March rallied 800 points. So from March to July, that rally was 800 points. All right, so that is the current rally, currently approaching 700 points. And the next level above that we'll take a look at in just a minute is the 4,800 call wall. We can see that on this chart. This is a 30-day 1-hour chart. I'm going to zoom in just on the last week or so we can just focus on the levels. All right, so let me point out the levels on this chart. First of all, the dashed purple lines showing the lower and upper weekly expected move. Note that SPX is trading above that upper weekly expected move. This is based on the options market. It's updated once a week. Those levels remain in place for the entire week. I update them over the weekend. So that's the upper weekly expected move. SPX trading above the upper weekly expected move. The dashed blue lines are showing the lower and upper daily expected move. And note that SPX is trading within that range today. So those are the expected moves. Now let's take a look at the Spotgamma levels. These are proprietary Spotgamma levels provided to Spotgamma subscribers, shown on a variety of trading platforms. And this is Thinkorswim. Again, a 30-day 1-hour chart. I'm going to point out the key daily levels. So first of all, the put wall has moved up pretty substantially to 47.45 from 4,500 yesterday, so a pretty substantial move higher in put wall. We'll look at the absolute gamma levels in just a minute to see where that is. All right, so also the volatility trigger moves substantially higher. That's also at 47.45. So the put wall is the strike with the largest net negative gamma that can be expected to act as support. And the volatility trigger is Spotgamma's proprietary volatility flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to enhance or increase volatility. On the other hand, above that level, like SPX is trading now, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue or decrease volatility. And the next level up is 4,800. That's the call wall. That's a strike with large net positive gamma, and that can be expected to act as resistance. So the potential floor at the put wall at 47.45 and the potential call wall, potential ceiling, the potential floor at the put wall, potential ceiling at the call wall. Again, that's the strike with the largest net positive gamma, can be expected to act as resistance. And then finally, way up here at 5,000, that is the absolute gamma strike. That's the strike with the largest absolute positive and negative gamma. So that's where most of the gamma weighted open interest is concentrated. All right, so those are the that's the range of levels. Let's just take a look at one other SPX chart. Now go to a 1 minute chart so we can see the levels in play for today. So the dark area over on the right here is that's the today. This is the cash open for today. Note that SPX is trading above the upper weekly expected move and has found resistance at this combo L2 level, 47.78. That was noted as resistance in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. All right, so those are the levels in play for today. Pretty narrow range for SPX today, typical of a positive gamma environment, also with a bullish bias. All right, shifts in levels for SPX. I talked about both the volatility trigger and put wall shifted up substantially, both at the 47.45 level. Call wall and absolute gamma strike remain the same. All right, let's go to Bookmap now. In a Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes, so I can show SPX levels. There's that 47.78 level that acted as resistance. I'm also showing SPY levels on this chart, and here's the SPY 475 call wall absolute gamma strike. That was the call wall yesterday, remains the call wall today, and the absolute gamma strike for SPY shifted higher. Also the volatility trigger and put wall for SPY shifted higher. So I'm showing SPX levels, SPY levels, and any other levels of interest, and all on my cloud notes. One column of notes here. And note that earlier today, the S&P 500 broke above the 475 call wall. Still trading below the SPX 4800 call wall. All right, so shifts in levels, 2 shifts higher for SPX, and then a hat trick for SPY. So all that is bullish. Those shifts higher in levels. I'll show the absolute gamma strikes in just a minute, and we'll see the also show the shift higher and open interest for calls for the SPX. All right, so levels in play for today. On the upside, the 47.78 combo 2 resistance level. That combo 2 combines SPX and SPY gamma weighted open interest into one combined level, here converted to an equivalent SPX price. And note there is a difference in price between ES and SPX. It's a little bit over 52 points today. So ES minus SPX equals, it's right around 52.5 today, and I'm using 52. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ now. So Floyd's Garage asked, does SPY call wall now act as support? Potentially, yes. So I would be looking for that. The S&P 500 is somewhere in between the SPY call wall and the SPX call wall above. And now Spotgamma's research, their statistics, do show forward 1 day and 5 day negative returns after a call wall breach, and that I think pertains primarily to the SPX. All right, here's NASDAQ, NQ Futures and Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I do want to take a look, first of all, at QQQ levels, so we can isolate the QQQ levels and play for today. And the primary level is the call wall at 410. And QQQ has been oscillating up and down around that level. Breached it earlier today, then acted as resistance. Price breached again, here acting as support, and now price has moved back lower. So that's the call wall at 410 for QQQ. And here is another important level, the 408 level. That is the volatility trigger and absolute gamma strike for QQQ, acting as support before the cash open. And that for QQQ, the volatility trigger and absolute gamma strikes both shifted higher, both to the 408 level. So bullish shifts higher in levels for QQQ as well. All right, let's take a look at NDX. The reason I'm showing all of these different underlying assets, the ES futures are a derivative of the SPX, the S&P 500, and then NQ, a derivative of NDX. And options trades in these underlying index products are a big driver of price. ES for the S&P 500 and NQ for the NASDAQ 100. All right, let's take a look at NDX. The only level in play for today is this combo L2 level. And that appears to be very close to the 410 call wall. In fact, it's just about the same level. And note that NDX is trading above its call wall at the 16,650 level. That is the absolute gamma strike, and also the call wall at 16,650. All right, let's go back to the NQ chart now. And there's this cluster of levels. That's the 410 QQQ call wall, and then that combo level just above that. And now NASDAQ trading below that level. And again, I'm showing these levels in my cloud notes here, QQQ levels, and also the NDX levels, as well as the big round numbers in NQ. There's a 17,000 level. And I'll talk about setups in a few minutes. All right, shifts and levels again for QQQ, volatility trigger, absolute gamma strike shifted higher, and for NDX, the put wall shifted higher. All right, let's take a look at gamma notional now to see how market makers were positioned on the gamma curve at the beginning of the day. So what this is showing is market makers' position on the gamma curve again at the beginning of the day for the S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell 2000. This is updated once a day, provided to Spotgamma subscribers on the AM Founders Note. Note all these numbers are positive. So what Spotgamma assumes for an index is that traders are short calls, market makers are long calls in a positive gamma environment, and they have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure. So again, all these numbers are positive, and they did increase from yesterday. All right, I'm going to skip the Vanna model. It is the same every day in a positive gamma environment. Really nothing to see there, not much of a Vanna tailwind or headwind. But I do want to take a look at the absolute gamma strikes. Let's go to SPX. Zoom in on this chart. So what this is showing is market makers gamma notional. Calls shown with orange. Positive gamma, and blue is showing puts, negative gamma. Right, so this is the 4,800 level. That's the call wall, the strike with the largest net positive gamma. So call gamma shown with orange minus put gamma shown with the blue bar gives you the greatest amount of net positive gamma. Right, so that's the call wall. Here's the 5,000 level. That's the strike with largest absolute negative and positive gamma. And then let's find the 4745 level. That's right there. Not a lot of put gamma. So this is really, I guess, gets the put wall designation kind of based on a technicality. The definition of the put wall is the largest net negative gamma. So the blue bar minus the orange bar gives you the largest value of net negative gamma, although there's, of course, obviously much larger put gamma at the zeros and the 50s levels. 4,800, 4,750, 4,700, etc. Well, let's take a look at one other thing, just to see, give us an idea of sentiment here. All right, what I'm going to show, this is for SPX. This is the open interest change. This is from yesterday to today. This is showing puts first. These are all the this is all the open interest that was added to puts yesterday. So quite a bit in this range from around 4,600 to 4,800. More importantly, what I want to show is calls. So above the zero line, these are calls added, and below the zero line, calls closed. Open interest is closing there. So that is just above that 47.45 volatility trigger. And note all the calls added. That's at 47.90, 4,800, and 5,000. So quite a shift higher in the absolute gamma, or the open interest in calls there. All right, let's take a look at some setups now. Well, first of all, my thesis for the day, looking for lower volatility based on the positive gamma, and looking for more of a range day, mean reverting price action, and also my directional bias was bullish based on the shifts higher in levels for SPX, SPY, NDX, and QQQ. All right, so I'm going to start now taking a look at setups from this morning. The first thing I want to do is take a look and see what options traders were doing today and are doing now. And Paul, yeah, I'll take a look at FDX. I guess that's FedEx. Yeah, I'll take a look at that when I get to the live market. So here's the S&P 500. This is the hero signal. So everything that we've looked at so far, other than the Bookmap, has been based on static data that's updated once a day overnight. Spotgamma takes that open interest data from OCC and applies their own proprietary algorithms to come up with the levels that we looked at, and the gamma notional Vanna model, everything that I use in my planning process. Now we're going to start taking a look at real-time data. So I want to start again by looking at what options traders have been doing today. This is the hero signal, hedging impact real-time options. So what this chart is showing is price for SPX, that's the white line, and then the purple line is the hero signal. Again, that's hedging impact real-time options. That is showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal of SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. So when traders buy and sell calls and puts in these underlying assets, market makers will hedge those trades. They take the opposite side of those trades, and they will hedge their delta exposure with ES futures. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this chart. And this is the cash open right here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And note the hero signal moving straight up right at the cash open. It's like ready, set, go at 9:30. Buy, buy, buy. And let's see what traders were doing. I'm going to separate out puts and calls. And earlier today, let's zoom in on this. Earlier today, they were buying calls and initially selling puts. Calls shown with the rising orange line. Buying calls when traders buy calls, market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy ES futures to hedge their delta exposure. And note that price starts to consolidate as the call buyers take their foot off the gas. So initially traders were selling puts, take their foot off the gas, they start buying puts, and again price consolidates. So when separating out puts and calls gives us more clarity about what traders have been doing today, and this makes it pretty clear that traders were buying calls. That was driving price up till about 10:30. They take their foot off the gas and price consolidates. Zoom out. And now finally, so traders have continued to buy puts. That's shown by the falling blue line. And then they stopped buying calls right around 1 o'clock. And now they're selling calls and buying puts. Both the blue line right now, starting about 1 o'clock, both the blue line and the orange line moving the same direction. That's a very powerful directional indicator, and the S&P 500 is moving lower. All right, let's go take a look at Bookmap. Go back to ES. I'm going to focus on the setup from this morning. We'll go to about 12 o'clock. And note there was a pretty long period of a consolidation this morning. And then just before the cash open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Aggressive buyers started to come in. The volume dots are showing market buy minus sell. Magenta dots indicate there are more sellers than buyers. Green volume dots indicate more buyers than sellers. So just a couple minutes before the cash open, the aggressive buyers start to come in. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit. Aggressive buyers start to come in, and also before the cash open, note the rising light blue line. Those are showing iceberg orders. Large traders use iceberg orders to hide their size. Bookmap can detect them with the stops and icebergs indicator. This is the on-chart indicator showing large traders buying with iceberg orders. And Bookmap consolidates a number of orders into one indicator there, and if I zoom in more, those will be separated out. But at this level of zoom, they are consolidated. So aggressive buyers start to come in. At the cash open, traders start aggressively buying calls. Aggressive buyers, iceberg orders. And after the cash open, order flow shifts definitely bullish. That's shown by the green volume dots as well as the rising cumulative volume delta. And then as price starts to move higher, stop orders help to fuel the move higher. That's shown by the yellow line in the subchart. All systems go, ready, set, go. 9:30, start buying with both hands. Traders buying calls. Traders buying with iceberg orders, large traders, aggressive buyers, cumulative volume delta, buy stop orders, and fuel the move higher to this 47.73 level as call buyers take their foot off the gas and traders start buying puts. Note also the stop line levels off, CVD starts to drop. So very clear signals both in Bookmap and in Spotgamma Hero for a long at the cash open. Zoom out now. So remember now, Hero is starting to trend lower, and you can see the shift in volume dots. A lot of larger magenta volume dots as aggressive sellers are starting to move ES lower. And note now that the S&P 500 is trading below the 475 call wall. All right, so great long setup this morning. Again, very clear signals both in Bookmap and in Hero. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ. And a very similar setup. Zoom in on this just a little bit. So again, ready, set, go at the cash open. Sideways movement, cash open. Final burst of aggressive selling shown by the magenta volume dots, and then the aggressive buyers start to come in, and also large traders again buying with iceberg orders shown by the on-chart indicator as well as the sub-chart indicator. Rising light blue line, traders are buying with iceberg orders. Cumulative volume delta, rising line, rising pink line changes to blue when that number goes positive, and also buy stop orders fueling the move higher. and in this case up to the QQQ 410 call wall and above that level. Let's take a look and see what options traders were doing. Let's go back to Hero. And first we'll take a look at NASDAQ. So this is a combined signal for NDX and QQQ. Separate out puts and calls. A little bit more choppy signal here in NASDAQ, but in the morning traders are buying calls, shown by the rising orange line. They were also initially selling puts. Right around 10:30 they start buying puts, and call buyers more or less take their foot off the gas, and then price consolidates. And let's go take a look now at another combined signal. This is for the Magnificent Seven, the stocks known as the Magnificent Seven. Let's just zoom out. So this is the combined signal for Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. Make up a very large portion of the S&P 500 and an even larger portion of the NASDAQ 100. Zoom in again. Very bullish signal from the open. Sharply rising hero signal. Traders were buying calls aggressively. Then they take their foot off the gas right around 10:30. Price consolidates. And net for the day, they are buying calls and buying puts. Call buyers more aggressive, really in charge of price. Let's go back to Bookmap. All right, let's take a look at some stocks now. So first of all, the theme of the day is call walls. So now NASDAQ is trading back below the QQQ 410 call wall, and more or less acted as resistance today. Let's take a look at, go back to the S&P 500. And now the S&P 500 also trading below the SPY 475 call wall. All right, let's take a look now at Netflix. And also finding resistance at its call wall at 500. Let's go take a look at Hero for Netflix. Let's zoom in on this chart. So here is the 500 key gamma strike call wall, acting as resistance. Note the sharp shift in the hero signal. Traders taking positive delta positions, and as price hits that 500 call wall, they immediately start taking negative delta positions. Let's see what they were doing. Mainly call buyers and call sellers driving price. And here's the looking for a long setup this morning. Here's this around 10:15. Here's the long setup. Sharp shift in the call line there. Traders initially selling calls, they start buying calls. Note the timely flow alert that indicates significant options activity. And for a brief period, the blue line, put line, was driving up as well. Traders were buying calls and selling puts. And up to the 500 call wall key gamma strike, and they immediately start selling calls and buying puts. All right, so net for the day, they are buying calls, they are selling puts, call buyers much more aggressive. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. So here's that first test of the call wall at 500. Note the liquidity at that level. This is the heat map and Bookmap showing a history of the limit orders in the order book. And those limit orders above price would be limit sell orders, and those are absorbed. And remember, options traders, let's just zoom in on this. Right around 10:15, the hero signal shifted sharply higher. That's right around here, right at the 495 level, as well as VWAP shown by this blue line. So a reversal higher, trend break at the 495 level, and price quickly moves higher as traders are buying calls. Market makers sell the calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. So a nice quick move up for 5 points in Netflix up to the 500 call wall. And that is the obvious target, both in terms of Spotgamma levels as well as this high liquidity, high number of resting sell orders at that price. That liquidity attracts price. So Netflix continues now to chop around that 500 call wall after a second test and a slight breach. All right, so there's Netflix, great long this morning. Another way to play this is, now it might not necessarily have worked for Netflix. We'll see as the day goes on if that 500 level will hold again. So if you miss this move, which was pretty clear, this move up from 495 to 500, and then when it gets to 500, take your profit, and then you could buy a put spread or sell a call spread somewhere above there, watching hero and watching price action at that level. Let's go back to hero. Go back to the total signal. All right, the next stock I wanted to take a look at is NVIDIA. And Sloterazi says Coinbase hit about 169.50 today. Maybe call Gamma unwind this Friday. Yeah, we'll check on that. And also IWM might be rolling over. We can take a look at that as well. All right, so here's NVIDIA. Again, sticking with the theme of the day is call walls. Acting as resistance for NVIDIA. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. So NVIDIA, this starts just a few minutes before the cash open. This straight shot up to 500 call wall. NVIDIA meets resistance there. Let me zoom in on this just a bit. After a couple of tests, NVIDIA now moving lower. And what this looks like is somewhat of a stop run up to that level. Note again all the high liquidity at that level. In this case, not fully absorbed. Limit sell orders at 500. Let's go back to Hero. So pretty choppy signal here in Hero. Let's zoom in a little bit. And note the quick reversal in Hero signal twice at 500. Traders switch from taking positive delta positions to negative delta positions at that level. So today mainly call buyers and sellers driving price. And the call buyers become call sellers as NVIDIA hits the 500 level. They do that twice. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. Zoom in. All right, for Tesla, same story. Call wall acting as resistance. Price did not quite make it up to that level. Hero shifts from bullish to bearish just below the 260 call wall. And calls and puts, in the case of Tesla, moving just about the same direction. So from the cash open, traders were selling puts and buying calls, and then at 10:15 they shifted just below the call wall to selling calls and buying puts. Let's go to Bookmap. Go to Tesla. So Tesla, quick move up, reverses lower just below the 260 call wall. This is a case where that either buying a put spread or selling a call spread as the stock approaches a level that you expected to act as resistance. That would have worked well today. All right, there's Tesla. All right, let's check on some stocks. All right, CWR, what are lower targets on Tesla? All right, so let's go take a quick look at that, and then we'll get to FedEx. All right, so let's go back to, I'm going to open up Equity Hub. Take a look at Tesla here. All right, so for Tesla, the put wall is at 240. So that would be your first potential target lower. So if it goes below 250, that would certainly be a target. 250, the key gamma strike, and below that the put wall at 240. All right, so 250 being the first. At the key gamma strike, and then below that 240, the put wall. All right, let's go back to Hero, and Paul wanted to take a look at FedEx. All right, I don't have FedEx in Bookmap. We'll take a look at Hero, and traders taking negative delta positions in FedEx. Let's see what they're doing. So from the open, they were selling calls and buying puts, and that activity leveled off right around 12. And now it looks like FedEx is consolidating just right around the 250 level. So this is the opposite of that pattern I showed in a positive or a bullish environment. Aggressive call buyers in the morning take their foot off the gas 11 or 12, and price consolidates or moves lower. Good opportunity again for selling a call spread, buying a put spread. And this is just the opposite. Options traders take their foot off the gas right around 12 o'clock, and price consolidates. All right, CWR. Hope I answered your question about Tesla. I would say 250, the next major target down below again. All right, Khalid, you're welcome. And Slotarazi mentioned Coinbase. Let's take a look at that. So bullish day here in Coinbase. I guess Bitcoin is probably up today. So in Coinbase, they are buying calls. That's shown by the rising orange line and the positive notional value. And they're also selling puts, again shown by the notional value positive. All right, and Slotarazi also wanted to look at IWM. Let's do that. Again, I don't have IWM and Bookmap, but I do have it, and we can see it in Hero here. So bullish day for here for IWM. trading above the 200 key gamma strike. And call buyers driving price action in IWM. Not much with puts. They are buying puts, but notional value for calls 118 million versus notional value for puts minus 3.57 million. All right, Dan P says Bitcoin is up 5% today. Could explain the rise in coin, but don't know much about how much BT they hold on their balance sheets. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but they're kind of a bunch of stocks that really trade quite closely with Bitcoin. I think Coinbase is one of those. All right, Aspire to Trade wants to see NQ again. So let's go to, do you want to see NQ and Bookmap? Okay, here we go in Bookmap. And NASDAQ may be doing a round trip today. Slotarazi says VIX at new highs of the day. So sharp move higher, ready, set, go at the cash open up to the 410 call wall. Long period of consolidation. Aggressive sellers start to come in, and now price moving lower. Let's see what options traders are doing. Let's check on ES real quick. Pretty similar pattern. And S&P 500 below the 475 call wall. Let's see what options traders are doing. First of all, in NASDAQ. Bullish in the morning, and then start slowly grinding lower, and now Hero Signal has reversed lower pretty sharply. Net negative notional value for the day. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Similar pattern. Bullish in the morning. Consolidation, then about 1 o'clock, Hero starts to drop sharply lower. Now price is responding lower. And Slotarazi says VIX is the high of the days plus 1.28%. Let's check on VIX. Just go to today. So starting about 11:30, VIX really started to move up, and then consolidated a bit. Then about 1 o'clock, really started to move sharply higher. So starting from such a level, VIX is up 0.23 today, and at 12 point. Right around 12.5 when it started today. That is up for now 1.84%. All right, so thank you, Slotarazi. That is a good internal indicator to keep an eye on. All right, then see. All right, GH, I'm not sure I understand your question. Does that line show when they expire also, or just buying of options? So we can take a look at, let's take a look at S&P 500. And get some sense of when these options are expiring. So the hero line now is showing options, all expirations. That's showing all trades. That's the purple line. And then for every instrument, we can also show next expiry. So for the S&P 500, this would be options that expire today. And note the very close correspondence between the purple line showing all trades and the green line showing 0 DTE trades or next expiry. And again, in the case of the S&P 500, that is trades that expire today. So note the very close correlation. These numbers are almost identical, indicating that 0 DTE trades in the S&P 500 are driving quite a bit of the hedging flow, options trades, hedging flow, and price action today. So thanks for pointing that out. And for a stock, the next expiry would be the Friday expiration. For the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, it is today's expiration, and for stocks, it would be the next Friday expiration. And CWR Group says Tesla tanking after talking about 250. Let's take a look at Tesla. Yes, moving lower. Here's the 250 key gamma strike. Let's go back to Bookmap, wrap it up. So it looks like ES doing a round trip today. Same for NASDAQ. All right, my time is up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you very much for your questions and comments. I always love it with when you guys post questions and comments. And remember, tomorrow, GDP jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow afternoon. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great afternoon, great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.